Good morning, everybody. I'm out here on the Sourdough Fire in Washington, the northern Cascades National Forest on the Skagit River. And I just have been overwhelmed with experience in the past few days. And interestingly enough, not from the fire, insofar as a medical personnel, I'm not exactly on the front lines of the fire. We're here as support, but just from kind of what's going on in the world. So as we're out here in the Pacific Northwest, the fires in Lahaina, Maui occurred, and you know, hundreds potentially. The official count, I think, is near 100, but probably many more people passed away in that fire. And it kind of begs the question, what the fuck are we doing out here? If we're supposed to be fighting fires on a federal level, and a much more deadly fire occurs in Maui, while you know, all these millions of dollars are getting spent in Washington to, you know, watch the top of a hill burn. Just feels like much ado about nothing, while the people that really need us are suffering. And I just have been moved by Oliver Anthony's song that came out and went viral, and I think he speaks for a lot of us. If you haven't heard it, Oliver Anthony music, his song is called Rich Men North of Richmond, and he gives a voice to the sentiment that I think predominantly the majority of the working class feels, how specifically young men are working tirelessly and dealing with emotional and mental health issues, and not making enough, working paycheck to paycheck, being taxed at rates that make paying bills and having a quality of life commensurate with you know, our parents almost impossible. And we all feel it. And it's like the mainstream is in a total disconnect, you know, with the writer and the actors strike, and these, you know, not to say that all actors and writers are at the top of the game making millions of dollars, but the kind of spokespeople for these strikes are these multimillionaires, and it's hard to feel like there's a voice for kind of the normal person in modern politics. And so it's interesting to see somebody go viral immediately for giving voice to the sentiment that I think is shared across the nation, regardless of race, color, creed, you know, political sensibility, or you know, cultural value. I think that there are universals of hard work and self-sacrifice, and the belief in a moral livelihood, and certainly some sort of faith, you know. I think that one of the things that has us soul sick in this country is the utter disdain that the left, not to make this political, but, you know, I was born and raised in the Bay Area, an extremely progressive place, and the left seems to have a real disdain for faith, for the concept of God. Certainly that's how I was raised. And the older I get, the more I see the utility, the pragmatism, the usefulness of believing in something beyond our own, you know, power and status, and, you know, monetary accomplishments and so forth. And I think that that's what's missing in this country, you know. I'm aware of the, you know, the problems of the church, but I think we all need a little more God in our lives, and it's a shame to see and feel how much suffering and malaise and nihilism and frustration and cynicism and materialism there is in the young people of this country, because, you know, this is the future of the United States, the young people now. And we need to come back to a shared narrative, one that is positive and is going somewhere, and not concerned with, you know, power or, you know, self-righteousness or status, something that is deeper than that. I find it in my family, find it in my children. I'm not saying you have to find, you know, it similarly, but I think we all have a calling. We all have something that we find deeply meaningful, and that ought to be celebrated, not sacrificed to fit in with a sick society. So yeah, I suppose I'm just kind of interested in sharing my thoughts. I know that's kind of a scattershot of a bunch of different thoughts, so forgive me, but hearing Richmond, north of Richmond, and seeing the unbelievable amount of fuel that has been available for the kindling, not to use a fire metaphor, but that, you know, the amount of people that were ready for that message to go mainstream is really encouraging. It's also not the least bit depressing, in that you know, too many young people are taking their lives. Too many young people don't feel included in the system, and this is not based on sex or race or creed or sexual orientation or faith. This is based on socioeconomic opportunities, and it just seems like the American dream is kind of becoming more and more a fallacy, and it doesn't really matter how hard a person works. There need be, you know, cheats or shortcuts or you know, underhanded dealings to get ahead, and I don't want to believe that, because it makes me a more cynical person. But you see a song come out that gives voice to what I think a lot of people feel in this country, and it's heartening to see how unbelievably popular that is, how widespread those feelings are. And so I have hope for the future of the United States, because I think that we're having too much of a push for top-down control and having the beliefs of a small minority of elite people in this country being shoved down the throats of a huge amount, hundreds of millions of people that are working and doing their best to live a good life and provide for the people that are close to them. And I think people have had enough. You know, we're ready to make a brighter tomorrow, and it seems like we got to kind of confront the wicked forces in this world with the force of goodness and positivity, and working for you know, a future that is good and just. And I suppose I'm humbled by the conversations that I've had with individuals on the fire. As a medic, I find that I get a chance to hear people's stories, and the thing that I keep coming back to is being so amazed at how truth is much stranger than fiction. I am amazed at hearing what my colleagues have gone through. And I think that if people can go through what they've gone through, which of course is the case, then we can get through what's coming in this country. There's enough of us, good people. You know, I'm doing my best. That's not a, you know, self-compliment. I'm just saying there's enough people that want to do right by themselves, by God, that we can take back our country for the next generation, and have things work well and get back on the right track. So anyway, thank you for watching. Love you guys.